But Nigel Farage, please stop kicking people out of Reform for speaking up or standing with us, because you'll have no people left.
So on the 27th of July, I made a clear address to Nigel Farage. I said, you don't have to support us, but please, Nigel, stop lying about us.
I'm not going to pick a fight here, okay? But I want to ask you all a question. I want you, when I ask a question, to put your hands in the air. How many people here voted for Labour? How many people here voted for the Conservative Party? How many people here voted for Reform? As I said, I'm not here to pick a fight, but Nigel Farage, please stop kicking people out of Reform for speaking up or standing with us, because you'll have no people left. You don't have to support us, but stop lying about us, okay? It's frustrating.
Within the same week, I've now seen Nigel Farage sitting on the podcast Trigonometry. And Nigel, maybe you were mistaken. I very much doubt you don't have a research team. And if lots of people contacted you to talk about my arrest under terrorism legislation, I'm pretty certain you would have researched it or had a team research it. And in fact, all the evidence you would have needed was on my social media.
Look, Tommy Robinson's been right about many things. He's just not the company that I choose to keep. And even after that, we got, Robinson's been arrested using terrorism laws, isn't there? And then we discover, no, actually, he wasn't arrested in London. He was arrested at the port of Dover, and it's something to do with a passport issue. And, listen, he has had some things very right over the years. It's just, he's not for me.
So to sit there and say I wasn't detained under terrorism, I was detained due to a passport offence, is either a total lie or a very poor judgment on your part, yeah? So it's getting pretty boring now, because when you see someone sit there and continuously lie, Nigel, as I said, I don't want to pick a fight with you, but please stop lying to people. Let me read you what this says, yeah? Notice of detention under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. You've been detained under Paragraph 6 of Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act. This is so that an examining officer can exercise his or her under terrorism legislation for the purpose of pertaining whether you appear to be a person who is or has been concerned in the preparation, permission or instigation of acts of terrorism. So that there, Nigel, is the legislation that I was held under, okay? My rights, let's see what that actually means. Whilst being detained, you must answer questions put to you by the examining officer. Give the examining officer any information in your possession which the officer requests, i.e. PIN codes to your phone, electronic devices. So basically, you do not have a right to remain silent. Now, Nigel, the reason why concerned citizens were contacting you is because this is no total abuse of power. I was detained under terrorism legislation. My rights were taken from me, okay? I wasn't just detained for 6 hours and questioned about information that they have no right to hear, but they do under terrorism legislation. I was then further arrested under terrorism legislation, transferred to a police station to be charged, but then I was bailed. So I'm currently on bail under terrorism legislation for breaching the terrorist legislation for refusing to give them the PIN code for my phone. So Nigel, it had nothing to do with a passport. I'm correcting you here. I believe you actually already know, yeah? Why you wouldn't voice this. People were demanding and asking you to voice this in Parliament. And I'll say it again, Nigel. My bank accounts were first closed in 2009, my first ones. Multiple continued then, 2013, 14, 15, 16. I cannot get a bank account in the UK. Now, yes, you spoke up when they come for your bank account. The point is, when will you speak up about this abuse of power? When you're arrested under terrorism legislation. You have a duty, and people are asking you to speak up for this total abuse of power. As I've said many times, you don't have to like me, okay? But to sit continuously and lie or misjudge and not research, you could have contacted me. Anyone from Reform could have contacted me. What were you arrested under? I'd have showed you this same paperwork. In fact, this same paperwork is all over my social media. So anyone researching, in fact, many in your party, because I spoke to them, are fully aware of the reason I was arrested. So please, I'll ask you again, because it seems like you're pushing the establishment's narrative, rather than challenging the establishment. So whether you want to be part of the establishment, or bring that establishment, that corrupt establishment down. But please, again, stop lying about me. So for the set record straight one more time. I was detained under terrorism legislation, even though they know I'm not a terrorist. They then use the powers that they have under terrorism legislation to ask me 6 hours of questions and seize my mobile phone so they could invade my privacy as a journalist and a free citizen. Then when I refused, I was transferred to a police station, Nigel. I was arrested and questioned under caution on terrorism legislation. I'm just happy to set the record straight for you.